Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 2 of the Midnight Division of Rainbow Open. Got a great match on tap for you to hear today. Marmora's Rusalka going up against Marmora's Atlas. We got a bit of a inter org scrim going on here.
Yes, it seems to do. I'm OPNEs. I'll be another caster for you tonight, and I'm very excited to see this. I get to see one of the tank players is a Winston player, one of my favorite
Indeed.
tanks. We're going to see some dive. We saw a lot of brawl last match that we were able to shoutcast together, but now we get probably get to see some more dive comps. But I believe we're going on Lijiang Tower, so I
We
might
are,
just have
yeah.
to bite those words.
I mean, listen, we were gonna see Dive until you said that we were gonna see Dive, and now we're gonna be with Rush this entire time. So I'm just gonna head out. You can cast this Rush game all by yourself, can't
I
you?
mean, we know how it's going to play out, but again, Rush is still really fun. There's so many nuances with Rush that we get to see so many times.
Absolutely.
And we saw a lot of Reinhardt last match, so we're gonna see maybe if we pull out some different brawl tanks as well. I haven't seen a Zarya in a hot second for good reason, but I haven't seen one. It'd be
Actually,
cool
I
if
mean,
maybe it'd be pulled out.
fun fact, Zari on the Ka broadcast earlier today. So, if it's good enough for a Ka team, maybe one of these teams whips out our favorite muscle Russian with the pink hair. Wait, Zari, you know what? I'm not going there. Never mind. Zari is cool. It does look like one of the players for Atlas might be having a slight tech issues or a bit delayed going in. But you said no dive on Lijiang Tower. You could at least run dive on Gardens, probably.
Probably, but that's if the other team doesn't get to point first. Because if you are like, let's say you're playing dive, oh, we're actually getting in right now. If you
Oh
are
yeah,
playing dive, then if they're playing rush and they get the point first, you kind of just like, eh. So
you
here we
said it.
are on Lijiang Tower. I'm very excited.
I'm very excited.
I can't wait. Let's see. We're probably going to see some Sim TP strats here as well. Um, these two teams are
Oh my
both
god.
Memoris teams. We do have some ringers in though.
Yeah, for one, Carbon Tricks is a ringer for the side of Atlas, as you see on the right side of your screen. I believe there's a few others. But yeah, both these teams I think have one or two ringers. So unfortunately, not full rosters out here today, which is always a shame. But this is a unpaid, or this is, yeah, it's an unpaid tournament. No one's walking home with a new fortune. So unfortunately, sometimes people have real life obligations they have to go to. But either way, probably going to still be a pretty good matches. That's quite an interesting
Let's
comp there from
look at
Rusalka.
look at these comps real quick. Rusalka going for a pharmacy heavy comp, and the rest of the team kind of just going to be playing by themselves. We see the Mercy and Kariko here. Now we're going to see some pharmacy. Haven't been able to cast some pharmacy in a hot second, but we'll see how it
No.
works. And we're going to see that Atlas are just going for the Sim TP straight to point. Pharah is very dangerous here. Ooh, but that Ramatra is going to be able to get a lot of good pressure there. Now we're going to see the
Yeah.
slow aggression from Ermagerd.
Yeah, the problem Atlas has here is the only person they have to contest this farm mercy is that
We got moved
Baptiste.
off the map!
Well, not
There's
yeah,
Nacho
Nacho Toast is
Toast!
already down, so now they have no one to get us that far, and this is gonna be a slow death. And I don't even know if they're gonna get the point,
Oh,
which is what
Zergling.
you do this comp for. They do get
Oh, so, okay,
two.
here
Hang
we see
on,
Saxo block to
three.
3, but now it's a pharmacy in the air and you have no support. So as a
Yeah, they're all
Ramatra, you're gonna
so
get absolutely
low.
destroyed. Zergling kind of just like carried that fight. I believe
Zergling,
that's
yeah,
actually 5 kills for Zergling.
I think it
We saw
is.
the
Yeah.
boop and then the poke, absolutely devastating. And now they're almost 100% to their ult.
Uh, Block taking a minute there to figure out what they want to play. Ends up on the 76. Never a bad pick against Farmers. So you have the sustain, you have the damage. Only swap going through from the side of Atlas. But yeah, this Far has been a menace, and they already have the barrage. Zergling already sitting on that barrage.
I'm gonna see, I believe, a Lucio engage, but this is gonna be the Baptiste left alone here by himself, and Lucio's gonna go. Pataman is gonna get
Yeah.
caught out by Ermagod. And now we're going to see them and try to aggress the point. And now it's actually common sense gets one. And really a very difficult time for Atlas to try to aggress onto the point with all the different angles they're getting aggressed from.
Yeah, and they kind of just didn't clear the Fara before they did their amp speed. So, Nacho Toast ends up getting split. Patamon doesn't have the healing they want, and a mass comp swaps just came through for Atlas. That's three players swapping.
Yes, definitely. They're just trying to mirror the pharmacy comp, but it's going to see
Uh,
Clockworks taking a lot of damage. The direct straight to the face, and that's going to be Zergling!
oh,
What a shot! absolutely destructive. And now they're going to be playing right from behind here with the ult, but doesn't even need it. It's going to be Common Sense getting 2 with the railgun. And look at this. It's just a battle of technical skill here. Common Sense gets a third, just going to be cleaning them up and sending Atlas back to the spawn room.
Zergling just goes, ah, I see you're approaching me. Big mistake. And sends Clockworks right back to spawn. And, you know, the big problem for Atlas is Rusalka hasn't used an ult this entire map. They're going to be at 99% with 5 ults.
And Atlas has been comp swapping so much that they have absolutely nothing in the bank. They have a ROM ult and a window. That's about it. We see Zergling getting very aggressive on the Clockwork. And that's going to be a big... Saxo is going to be able to go down. That's going to be a lift, going to be able to stop the Baptiste from aggressing. That's actually going to be 1 pick there for the Ramatra, but with 5 ults on the field, it's going to be Zergling getting 2, and then the cleanup crew for the Ramatra on point comes in, and Rusalka are going to be taking down Atlas this first point, 100-0.
And there is a bit of touch here from Nacho Toast with the window, but they're struggling to find anything. They're flanked on all 4 sides. They're taking a while to die. And hang on, Saxo Block gets a shot. Atlas has it in here. Atlas finds another.
They don't have any supports though. I believe it's actually just Raven. So that's actually going to be I bite my words caster curse there.
Yeah.
It's going to be 99-6% here now. It's going to be slowly approaching. We see Radamon go onto the Moira and the Nacho Toast go onto the Kiri. Clockwork playing without a mercy here rather is going to have a very hard time contesting Zergling.
Yeah, you know, Patamon down already. Not the start you want if you're Atlas, but maybe Clockwork can make some magic happen with this barrage, and Saxo Block has the Overwatch. Oh, that's toast.
It's gonna be, yep, Nacho Toast, Common Sense. Common Sense! We've really been seeing the praises of Zergling, but Common Sense has absolutely been dominating with this Sojourn performance, hitting the right clicks just so consistently here.
Yeah, and I mean, that is a lot of what this comp... Oh, that poor Mercy from Patamon. They had no hope there. That's really what this comp from Rusalka wants to do is, you know, Shakel and Ermagerd have so much self-sustainability, and then you've got the Mercy to empower the 2 DPS. Sojourn also very mobile, very survivable. And, you know, when Common Sense and Zergling are hitting shots, this comp kind of goes crazy. Over to the Bastion, though, potentially, for Gardens. And
I kind of agree with this, but Bastion does take a lot of resources to keep up and sustain. We do see a swap onto the Baptiste instead of the Kiri, so it's going to be a little bit 2 units moving together here. It's going to be the Sigma group and the Pharmacy group, really. Actually, no, swapping back to the drawing board. There's going to be the Tracer and the JQ. Very aggressive comp here. And we're going to see on the other side, Atlas, keeping with this Pharmacy as well, on the Tracer and the Diva, try to come back to this Pharah a little bit more. Zergling. Oh, look at that shot. Already 1 direct. Gonna see, this is really just who can get the better boost management and who can really get the shots in. Zergling almost gets Patamon, but Patamon has the movement to keep himself alive. This Pharah duel is crucial. Whoever wins this duel really just takes the point here, and that's gonna be Patamon. Clockworks gets the Shakill though. Shakill getting down, but that's gonna be Zergling trading with the Patamon here. And now that Zergling going almost down, that's going to be a TP though, and that's actually going to be Clockwise going down a Nacho Toast. Look at Common Sense, they're going to be able to there for the cleanup, and it's going to be going the way of Rusalka.
That was so good from Zergling. They find Patamon, and then they just take so much attention. Common Sense unfortunately stole their mega health pack right when they went there, and they do go down, but they take Clockwork for the road. Clockwork now over the Echo. Generally considered a favorable matchup into the Pharah, but, you know, not the most one-sided matchup we have in this game.
Definitely not. We're going to see them try to contest. It's really going to you hit those left clicks there, and you're really going to do it. Now we're going to see Clockworks change the attention onto the point here, but look at this damage! Clockworks gets absolutely obliterated, and the Boop is going to be able to stop the Mercy from rezzing. Still going to try to res anyways. Patamon is going to get DM'd here, and that's going to be a res onto Clockworks. Patamon getting dangerously low, though. And we see that Rusalka are just going to be holding down the point. They don't need to go anywhere. Clockwork's going to get a pick on a Common Sense, but now look at this. Rampage is online, and that's exactly what they're going to plan to use here, coming very soon. There we go, a stick. Shaco's gonna go down. We see a stick onto the D.Va, and Clockworks is absolutely trying to shred the JQ. But that's gonna be Ermagod getting a pick, and that's gonna be the Rampage going down, getting two. Saxo Block and Patamon. Patamon is dangerous, he's almost going down. Zergling's gonna get Nacho Toast as well. Zergling gets Patamon, continuing to try to brawl and point. The D.Va Bomb goes out. Common Sense. Is that a second Pulse Bomb this fight? It is. Common Sense,
As the
two
second
Pulse Bombs this fight.
As the second pulse bomb onto Carbon as well. Both pulse bombs stuck to the D.Va. First one to demech them, second one to kill them. And Zergling is an absolute terror on this Lijiang Tower map right now. Atlas cannot find an answer for this Pharah play, and they don't have a lot of time to find one.
Gonna be Clockwork here. Probably the only thing they can do is really get a dupe, but that's not just on a pick into Common Sense. That's really good. Clockwork's gonna be able to dupe the JQ. They really need to farm at this Rampage, but they're getting kind of aggressive on. They might get forced out of dupe here at 77%. Only 5 seconds left of this dupe. If they're gonna get this Rampage, you need to get it now and hit it right onto the JQ. And they're gonna not be able to get it off in time though. But that's gonna try to get a pick onto the Mercy. Mercy is 1 HP, but they get the mega health pack. Ermagod forgot that they don't have a fly ability, just like Zergling. They might have thought they were Pharah there for a moment. That's gonna be flipped.
I mean, it is. Ooh. Oh, that's a disgusting shot.
Gonna pretend that didn't happen.
Good old mistake eraser from Patamon.
Gonna see Skyblocks. Saxo Blocks are gonna be going up, and now there's gonna be a Kitsune. It's gonna be dangerous. Kiting needs to happen here, especially is Zergling just gonna be able to stop them while they're kiting. That's gonna be a pick onto Saxo Block. Ermagod runs him down, and now it's gonna be, look at that hit right onto into the Mercy. But Zergling has to play a little bit low, but Shakill gets a pick on the Nacho Toast. Carbon trying to make something work here, but all of his supports are going to be going down, and that's going to be the barrage just to make sure that Carbon is going to get sent back to the spawn room, and that's the touch from Saxo Block. He's going to be able to touch the water down in the well, and that's going to be first map going to Rusalka.
Such a good boo. Saxo Block sleeping with the digital fishes at the end there, but what a map from Zergling. Absolutely going crazy on this Pharah. And I mean, a good Pharah can be hard to answer, but I feel like Atlas spent too much time just going, okay, that didn't work, we're swapping. Okay, that didn't work, we're swapping. And they didn't actually find a comp they wanted to stick with. Like, you're probably going to lose the first fight when swapping onto a comp mid-round because you're going to have that ult disadvantage. But they just kept swapping and kept giving themselves ult disadvantages, and Zergling kept punishing them for not having ults, and it was just a vicious cycle where they just couldn't find a way out. So it is going to be Atlas's map pick. We will see where they take us.
Honestly, anything that is not Pharah related is where I want to go after that match. But as much as they're singing Zergling praises, Common absolutely popped off as well. The yin to the yang of Zergling was there every moment. We see them getting 2 pulse bombs in a fight to be able to take down Carbon, as well as finishing off 1 HP targets that Zergling got. Absolutely a match made in heaven between two DPS players.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know what hybrid map you can take Rusalka to that will see the Pharah be, not an option. They're gonna go King's Row, which I think is probably their best option. Very hard to play the Pharah third point. Tricky to play her second point. First point's a bit of a problem, especially with the defense Pharah, but they'll make it work, I'm sure.
I was also gonna say, Atlas's pharmacy didn't even look that bad either. So if Atlas wants to run the pharmacy to mirror Rusalka, they're gonna have to commit to it first fight and really just commit to it. They're really, what we saw the difference between the two comps was the tank. They're running Rusalka's running the JQ, and we see Atlas running the D.Va. And that's really the main difference between the two. D.Va can really soak up the damage of the Pharah, but doesn't have as much engage as the JQ does.
Yeah, and it really seems like Rusalka just wants to go all out, let Zergling find a target, or let their tank find a target, just go hard on them, and just try to get a kill. Whereas Atlas is looking to play a little bit more defensively, get that DM, make sure that they've actually subbed out Patamon for Raven, so that's interesting.
It's interesting indeed. Now we're going to be on Scrims Row, as we all know it. It wouldn't be a match without Scrims Row. I believe people, when I play, people choose Pariso over King's Row sometimes, and I kind of wonder why, because King's Row is such an essential map to have in your map pool. It has, again, it's just one straight line, so you just run it down mid, run it down main every time, and see if it works. We're gonna see slight comp difference between the two. We're gonna see Atlas going for, again, this brawl comp they tried to start right at the start of Lijiang Tower, and we're gonna see a Rusalka keeping with this pharmacy comp instead of a JQ gonna be going to that ROM and having an Ana instead, maybe perhaps for a Nano Pharah to absolutely one-shot targets.
I mean, I definitely don't think Zergling should even consider putting down this Pharah until the third point here, which obviously is not we're not there yet. Atlas has chosen to start on defense. Actually, no, sorry, it'd be Rusalka that's chosen to attack first. My bad.
That's interesting.
Um, yeah, I usually like attacking first personally. I've heard arguments both ways, but both teams with the Bastion out, these
Oh, look at
Ramatras are
this
gonna have a
damage!
lot of pressure on them.
Ramatra
Yeah,
already
so
is
much.
down to half HP, has to use the block. Clockworks is also already won, and it seems that Rusalka are already kicking in the door, getting Saxo Block to 1 HP, and that's going to be a turret form to really solidify that. But that's actually going to be Common, getting absolutely rolled by Clockwork. The target focus was too much, and that's actually going to be Ermagerd going down as well. The Pharmacy just couldn't get a pick there.
Yeah, I mean that is actually the risk of running the Ana specifically over the Baptiste is you don't have the lamp and the shift if someone gets caught out like that. So unfortunately, Shakill just not able to sustain common sense through that, and common sense just gets blown up. But look, we do have a barrage online
I was gonna say,
already.
Zergling already has a barrage. Look at this damage. Being contested, but they're playing so safe, it doesn't really matter. That's gonna be an exchange of Ramatras there. And look at this barrage! There's the 2K, the 3K. Doesn't even look towards the immortality field, and that's gonna be Zergling opening up the first point. Gonna be able to pick this May here, and that's going to be first point King's Row, taken pretty well by Rusalka.
Yeah, so far Raven is just on this Mercy, the same thing Patamon was playing. I wonder if this is for an option to play Lucio on third point, or if it's just a map swap. But either way, it's working. They've got the Valk on the other side for Atlas. I mean, all this pressure from Zergling, and they might not even get to hold choke if they're not careful.
And we'll say, and I'm gonna see Rusalka. Okay, they just capped now. They're in a decent position. Look at that boop in! That boop in onto the Ramatra. He has to hold the block. Can't go aggressive. Common sense as well with the Bastion form stopping all of it. Gonna have some ults on them. It's gonna be a window completely stopping any aggression. Saxo block with the ult. They're all stacked together. That's gonna be nowhere really falling low there. Zergling powered up, nanoed, 1 HP. I mean, one shot targets, but that's going to be Saxo blocking to take him down. Ermagod also gets a pick on the clockwise. It's going to be a beat exchange, but also going to be a Bastion ult. It's going to be Patamon falling dangerously low. And it knocks Toast is falling low. Patamon getting caught within the ult, trying to run away, and that's actually going to be Ermagod falling dangerously low as well, blocking to save his life. But that's going to be Saxo block in the turret form, stopping him, putting him down. Carbon with it gets lamped, going to be able to stay alive, just barely. Saxo block has to retreat, and that's going to be Rusalka with another barrage. Zergling gonna get one almost for the two. Common sense is gonna be on the cleanup crew here, taking down Atlas. What a chaotic fight.
Yeah, so I just realized I got baited by the team switching sides. That Patamon was not subbed out. They're just on the other side of my screen now, and I got thrown off. At least I think that's what happened. I might just be going insane. Either way, Raven's been doing a great job on this Mercy as well, and it doesn't seem to matter to Zergling. They're just going crazy, and it's gonna be a hard contest here from Atlas. They don't have a lot. Admittedly, not a lot from Rusalka either, but Zergling is in a very annoying spot here.
Patamon trying to do something on this Lucio. It's going to be difficult. Look, the Ramatra's kind of just out here by himself. Carbon just trying to wait for the heal. That's going to be Ermagod getting a pick on the Clockworks as he tries to touch. And that's also going to be Carbon falling dangerously low as well. It's going to be a Bastion ult taking down Carbon. Going to start to just secure this second point, and that's going to be the end of the street phase of King's Row.
The power, the threat that Zergling poses when they get a position. Atlas has to walk forward to try to, contest the card, but they can't because Zergling's right there in their backline, threatening Nacho Toast, threatening Patamon. Very low.
Carbon almost got one shot. Carbon still almost getting one shot. Patamon has to be careful here. This bar is at a very weird angle. He's going to be able to get hacked, but Saxo gets absolutely deleted by Zergling. I believe they got slept and anti-there by Shakill, and that's going to be probably the attack opened up here. We're going to see some aggressive plays coming out. Common is in a very precarious angle, going to be able to absolutely stop them. It's going to be a back window exchange to try to stop this aggression, but Patamon is caught out in the open. Zergling and Common taken. Look at that massive freeze, though, by Clockwork. That's going to be two taken down. Now it's going to be left up to Zergling and Raven if they're going to want to even try to contest it, but I think they're just going to get out.
Oh, come on, Zergling. That's not okay. That's you can't just take Saxo Block for the road like that. That's mean.
And they want a little bit more, it seems. They're really just pushing up here, and that's going to actually looping away. But it seems that, again, that DM is just going to stop them from really getting that aggressive here. Still trying to take the spot. Going to get hacked. Can't fall into the void here. That'd be very embarrassing. Oh, Zergling getting pressured very hard here. Clockworks as well. Look at this pressure on the Zergling, but it seems that Saxo Block overstayed is welcome. Zergling absolutely shoves the rocket down his face, and now it's going to be a break, absolutely break into the defense here, and that's going to be Zergling going in. Going to be able to get rid of that immortality field and get rid of Nacho Toast on the way, but it's going to be Carbon with a bomb trying to get one, but that's just going to be a barrage taking them low. Zergling's going to go down, but Common Sense is going to get the trade, and now it's basically every player from Rusalka just trying to push it in here. Now we're just looking for touch. There's the Nano onto the Diva, and now it's going to be Common Sense just taking in a lot of damage here. God with the ult is going to be taking down Patamon. Clockwork does try to do something with the Nano, but doesn't quite get it. Now it's going to be Nacho Toast taking down God. Now the tank is down for Rusalka, but that's going to be the tank also down for Atlas, and now it's just really scrappy here of who's going to win this fight. Zergling takes down Saxo Block, coming back in on that Tracer, and now it's really all eyes on Common Sense if they're going to get this ult or not. It seems going to get poked out a lot. That window is doing a lot for them. Shakill does kill Carbon here. Zergling trying to put a lot of pressure onto this Baptiste, and the one clip. Zergling absolutely kills one, kills the second as well, and that's going to be Common with this railgun be able to shut down the defense from touching.
It's a long stall.
Common Sense continues on. Now it's on Doom, and now we're going to look for Saxo Block. Saxo Block goes down, but Shakill gets traded, and that's going to be 1 minute 38 seconds for Rusalka.
I think you were reading my mind there a little bit. Shakill and Raven right at the end doing such an incredible job of staying alive, of keeping their team in the fight until Zergling could get back, until Ermagerd gets back, and they just hold on and hold on. It was a great stall from Atlas, but unfortunately they don't get them under that 1 minute mark, and now they need a good hold here.
We'll say that was
a
great
good push
stall.
Here. Good lord.
We'll need a great push now. I was gonna say that's a great stall from Atlas. I believe they shaved off at least 30, maybe 40 seconds off the time bank. That's what you're looking for. At least if you get into that dire situation where there's so many ults popped at you, you can't really do anything about it. You just have to stall for as long as possible. And I think that's exactly what Atlas did, and that was as best as you could do in this scenario, I'd say.
Yeah, they did great. They did great to stall. It was just, unfortunate. The Annihilation was up. The Nano Boost came up. There was a Pulse Bomb about to be up. It was just so much to sustain through, and even with that respawn advantage, it just wasn't happening. Saxo Block hit a big EMP, but unfortunately it was just them at that point, and they couldn't capitalize. But, at 38, it's a good hold. It's a workable hold. It just matters how good Atlas can get this push, and that is a very interesting comp, and look what Zergling's not playing.
Interestingly enough, Zergling opts for the Mei here instead of the Pharmacy. We also see the double flex support here as well on Rusalka. Now we can see how Zergling pairs up against his own Pharmacy tactics, and we just put a wall up for defense here. You can see already we see Patamon falling low, and Clockworks gets deleted by an Icicle straight to the head. And now we're going to see Zergling just going to be M1ing this Queen and going to be stopping them from returning back to their team. No safe travels for you, Carbon.
If Zergling can't have the skies, then no one can have the skies, says Zergling. Oh, that's so unfortunate for Saxo Block. Almost escaped, but great awareness there from Zergling. But it's not often you see a Mei on anti-air duties, but I guess when you're good at Zergling, what does it matter who you're on?
I was going to say also Common Sense on the Bastion makes it that as far has to play very safe. If they peek whenever the Bastion forms up, that's going to be very dangerous to them. Also, Raven putting in work here on this Baptiste to really stop that Pharah as well. That's going to be a rush and Shout. Actually, Shout disengaging here. Gets a great knife onto Ermagerd. Ermagerd gets absolutely exploded. It's going to be a Bastion form going to be used by Common Sense to try to stop the aggression, but with Ermagerd out of the picture, it's going to be very difficult for this rush comp to do anything. Raven's going to kill Carbon, and Common Sense goes Clockwork? What is this? The tank's down, but the team rallies back, and that's going to be Rusalka absolutely putting the stop to this. Saxo Block does going to pick on the Zerg, but that's going to be Common Sense sitting there to stop them from aggressing anymore.
Yeah, it was a great, oh my god, Common Sense, stop it. It was a great wall from Zergling to isolate Carbon, but then it just continues after that with great shots. Patamon even popped the Valk thinking maybe they could pocket Saxablock through it, but then Saxablock just melts. Bright side for Atlas, they still have a lot of ultimates to make this engage happen.
This barrage could be absolutely massive. Here it is. That's going to be the Ana, and that's going to be the bashing away. Now the Clockwork's going to be traded his life for it. The freeze goes out. I believe it gets one. Now it's going to be Clockwork going, only Clockwork's down. That's going to be Carbon. Going to be getting Zerg, and that's going to be Saxoblock getting Raven, and that's going to be this attack opened up for Atlas, and it's looking good so far in the attack.
A much heavier investment there from Atlas, but you don't really have reason to just chill any longer and take any more time to try to have a favorable ult bank.
Very aggressive here by Carbon. Carbon getting absolutely deleted though by Common. Cannot walk at a Bastion when he has form up. The bro just said, nuh-uh, I'd win.
I mean, if they get Common there, then yeah, okay, Zergling's back on the far. This is dangerous.
Oh, a lot of damage there. Zergling getting beamed here, but it's just going to be able to evade with his life. Trying to just absolutely destroy Clockwork here, just trying to counter with the pharmacy of his
for Nacho.
And probably just gonna go for Nacho as well, right there in the back. See, ults are in the favor of Rusalka here.
Oh my!
Carbon, the boop, Zergling boops him in. Lucio on demand with his Pharah.
Seriously, Zergling is absolute freak. Somebody check the PC.
Clockwork almost gets that pick, but doesn't quite get the capitalization on the ante.
Yeah, this is such a brutal choke to break, especially for Clockwork. They've got two ways they can go. One which is an incredibly long flank, and one which is this window with Zergling in their face.
The lift on the Clockwork. He's going to get down, and that's also going to be Saxo Block. There's no DPS left. Carbon goes in with his ult. He's going to be able to get Common Sense, but he's kind of by himself, only with a Mercy to his name. Oh, Nano's going to be used on the side of Rusalka just to guarantee this defense onto this choke point here. Artillery? There's two people left.
Okay, I guess.
Alright.
I just wanted to send a message to Patamon and Carbon, I guess.
I was gonna say, two ults used there rather auspiciously. So we're gonna continue here. We're gonna see that Atlas is gonna be in, I think, a better spot with ults. Raven has that Guardian Angel and Zergling has that Barrage. That's gonna be the win con for Rusalka here in this choke. Look at Clockwork playing very careful here. All they need is one good shot, and they're gonna get the Barrage online. Tries to hit it, gets seen out by the Bastion. They're all hiding. Zergling gets one, gets Nacho Toast. That's the one you need. Now it's gonna be Carbon falling as well, and that's gonna be Common Sense and Ermagerd stopping the push. Clockwork just didn't move fast enough with that barrage flank.
I mean, such a heads-up play from Shay, though. Just here's the Pharah rocket come out, nades themselves, immediately dives for Bookstore, trusts that that Raven can keep the team up while they're getting reset, and you know, Common Sense then just Bastion mode pushes Clockwork out. A bright side is they did at least hold that barrage. They still have it.
Zergling gonna put pressure onto this Sigma. Almost gets rocked, but that's gonna be Carbon at half HP. Saxo Block is gonna go down. Ermagerd just pushing in there as Sigma. Brawl Sig, my favorite version of it. And now it's gonna be a little bit of a fire duel here, but Zergling's just gonna concede and like, I don't want to fight out in the open when you have a Sojourn. Actually, you're gonna be an Ashe now.
I'm not sure I like the Ashe. There's a lot of high ground around point 2 that the Sojourn can access much more safely with Slide than Ashe, which is with Coach gun much longer cooldown. And I don't feel like you really get to take advantage of Ashe's range.
Carbon also swapping over to the Diva. Not really favored on that Sigma here. We're going to see Clockwork and Toast are going to be the two that have the ultimates here. Carbon trying to get some good poke, but it's kind of locked in this choke. As a diva, you don't really have any tools to pass through it. You kind of just have to dive something or push in, but your team is going to suffer. Back to block goes low. It's going to be Clockwork with the ult, though. That's going to be a massive Sigma suck, though. But that's going to be Clockwork getting a pick right afterward on the common sense. The Nano Mercy? Sacro Block goes down to the lift, and that's going to be a Reds going out on the side of Atlas. Patamon gets it. That's going to be Ermagerd falling dangerously low, but keeps alive anyways. This is going to be the Bastion ult going around. Sacro Block trapped in a corner. It's going to be going down. It's going to be Ermagerd, though, falling dangerously low as Clockwork's going to get Shay kill. Now with only Mercy heals, it's going to be difficult for Ermagerd to stay frontlining here. Common sense is, and they're all going to retreat to the second corner, but now we're in OT for Atlas.
Oh, that was dirty.
Barrage.
There's no way they can rest that either. Even if they could get up to the high ground, Zergling's right here. Zergling is wants more. Zergling gets more.
Axel Block is going to take him down, though, but that's going to be Common Sense backing him up, and that's going to be Carbon going down as well. And I don't think there's much left there for Atlas in this push, and that's going to be map 2 going the way of Rusalka.
Zergling and Common Sense continuing to be absolute terrors, no matter the hero pick. And Raven, Shay, Kill, Ermagerd doing great jobs enabling them as chat quickly comment, not Twitch chat, game chat quickly commenting on the Nano Mercy we saw earlier. But, you know, this was such a clean King's Row from Rusalka, and Atlas needs to dig deep and find something, find one of those pocket strats that you build, because they got a reverse sweep.
I will say what the next map we're going into, I believe, is a flashpoint, unless I'm wrong.
It is.
Okay, it's a flashpoint. So the next point we're going into is a flashpoint, which I hate to say it, but I think New Queen Street. No, not New Queen Street, but New Junk City might be better in favor for Atlas just because there's less points that have a good pharmacy like positioning for them. Again, I hate to say it, I don't like playing New Junk City. I don't like watching it, but it could be favorable for Atlas here.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think, you know, it's definitely possibly far, you know, Bomb Flats, Junkyard, Arena, ducts and refinery. It gets a little tricky though versus on oh lord, I've lost the name, Suravasa, where you can kind of do it on every point except maybe Ruins. But either way, we'll have to see where Atlas wants to take us after the break.
Yes, you will.
All right, welcome back everyone from our little break. Marmoris Atlas versus Marmoris Rusalka here, and Atlas taking us to New Junk City, just like you said they might need, and they need some answers and they need them quick.
Yep, I would say Atlas versus Rusalka. Rusalka Zergling, she has been an absolute menace on this far. It's just something that has not been answered to by Atlas.
Yeah, and worth noting in terms of the ringers, I believe we do now have confirmation on who all the ringers are. It is Ermagerd and Raven for the side of Rusalka, and it is, I believe, just Carbon for the side of Atlas. So, I mean, it's always great when it's not the ringers making the difference. And I don't want to disrespect Ermagerd or Raven. They've both played a great game, but it really feels like it has been Zergling and Common Sense being the backbone and the difference makers for this Rusalka team.
I will say, just Zergling gets them low, Common Sense finishes them off, and that bash and pressure just cannot be beaten. We're getting in to New Junk City. I win the props. I guess the map New Junk City. I don't like being right, but it is true.
Hey. New Junk City is good because it's the home of Junker Queen. I will not
Yeah,
elaborate.
that is, yeah, that's the only reason it's good. We're gonna see what comp. I'm mainly looking at Rusalka here and see if they're gonna make any swaps here, or if they're still just gonna force this pharmacy. Because right here we see the first point here, always the first point on New Junk City. This point is gonna be relatively difficult for Afara to get in and actually get active.
It's definitely possible. You've got the support struts and you've got the scoreboard to play around, but it's not as easy as some of the other points we've seen. But so far, it does look like Zergling is not planning to put down the lesbian anytime soon.
Definitely not. We're going to see Rusalka running a very similar comp that they have been running the entire game. We're actually going to see Atlas switching it up here. Going to be playing a Genji with that Lucio Kiriko, going very aggressive here in their comp style.
Yeah, I wonder who that Genji's for, because you could use it to go after Raven, potentially, if you catch Raven slacking on their movement for a moment, but I feel like it's more likely that Genji's to go after Common Sense to punish her if she's, times a slide poorly, gets out of position. We'll just have to see how Clockwork plays this.
See Zergling already in a great position.
Oh,
Look at Common Sense right on this Sacro block with that Disruptor Field. Just look at that. There's not much you can do really against that. The Pharah got in. The aggressiveness did not stop the Pharah from absolutely obliterating the team, and that's going to be Zergling getting right-clicked by Clockwork. It's going to be a res, though. And now we can see...
I think what actually happened there was Clockwork deflected the rocket, but they were so low that the splash from the deflected rocket killed them off of Zergling. That is not something you see every day.
Definitely not something you see. And look at how aggressive we see Rusalka playing here. They're playing outside the room, and with Afara, this kind of the spot where that you kind of want to play. If Afara just has all this free space here, you kind of just get to cook. And we see the Afara cooking from this angle. It's going to get so much damage, and especially on Saxo Block here, who can't really engage their slide.
Yeah, they were having a lot of trouble there trying to find an angle with all that far spam. They have now gotten in, though, but it's cost them a lot of cooldowns. It's a disruptor shot, and now there's a continuing rush on the field.
Zergling going to take down Clockwork there, and that's going to be Saxo getting very low. Carbon's going to go down to the barrage, and that's going to be Nacho Toast also going to get shot down by the Pharah. Zergling, again, showing that you can play Pharah on this map, regardless of how indoorsy it might be.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the real test for Zergling will be Ducks and or Refinery, but I don't think Atlas gets a touch here, so we'll have to see where we go next. And oh, that's not what you want to see. If you're Atlas, we're going to the bomb flats, and this is the far out point of all far out points on this map.
This reminds me of like Lijiang Tower. If you're playing against Lijiang Tower here, it's gonna be very difficult. And now we see Zergling again, free range to shoot at whoever they want. We're gonna see Common getting absolutely run down out. There's gonna be a beat engage as well with the Kitsune to try to get something here, but no picks are going the way of Atlas. It's gonna be Common Sense turning it up with an overclock. Gonna get to Clockwork, get shot down. And now it's gonna be Shaco gonna be able to get traded out. There's gonna be a rampage here. We do see that Ermagerd is gonna be low, but Common Sense is gonna go down to Carbon, but
too little, too late, as Carbon is going to be able to go down, not getting enough value from that rampage.
Yeah, I wonder if I feel like there's two outcomes there, which is either he saw a bunch of people and his eyes lit up and he just pressed Q, which can happen to the best of us, or I wonder if Atlas are succumbing to that hero play mentality a little bit, which you absolutely cannot do against the Pharah. You cannot be going for hero plays against the Pharah. That is what she wants, and hey, look what we've got, Nees. It's your favorite.
Winton, and we also see Clockwork as Clockwork going falling solo. Saxo Block is going to pick on the common, so that's going to be the main heal is going to go down for the side of Atlas. Overclock for Saxo, probably can turn up on this Pharah. He's hit one more shot, doesn't quite get the finish there. Now they're going to get hunted down by Zerg. Zergling is going to be able to push him up. She's been absolutely devastating. That's going to be able to get one right down. Look at that barrage. Zergling going absolutely massive there, even with that point flip.
And the point flip is, unfortunately for Atlas, the bright side in that fight. It doesn't mean they get another clean, another safe touch. And there's a blade on the field and only a Kitsune rush to answer it, but in present day Overwatch, getting value out of a dry blade, especially into a comp as mobile as what Rusalka are running, is not easy, but there's a hack on the Zergling.
Gonna be common going low as well. Here's this blade, almost getting a good opportunity for it. Gets the dash in, trying to go for common, but she slides away. But there's a Winston to meet her right on point. Clockwork does get one with the blade, but that's gonna be a rampage. Gonna be anting. It's gonna be both supports getting antied. Patamon and they're both gonna be getting antied there. Nacho Toast trying to just stay alive on point, but Zergling is going to be able to take down Saxo Block. Ermagerd takes down Nacho Toast, and it's only 2 players left on the side of Atlas to stop they did flip it, but it's 99%, and that's going to be point 2 going to Rusalka.
Atlas needs to pray to anything they can think of that we're not going to Junkyard. And it looks like by the rotation that Rusalka are taking, we are, unfortunately.
Oh, no. Or?
No, it's the Ducks. Okay. They're
Okay.
great, perhaps granted a stay of execution here. A moment in a favorable setting to figure out how to deal with Zergling's Pharah. And they do basically have that coalescence.
We're going to see a swap from Common. She's going to be going over onto the Sojourn. Going to get some good poke damage here. And really against a Winston, the Tracer is going to be a lot better here. A Shake Hill going to be able to force out that Sombra. Carbon just trying to play on point here. Going to get a soft dive here. Uses the bubble to try to protect himself, and now this is where it's going to get dicey. You have no bubble here, and now Zergling is going to be able to get some free shots, and as we see, Zergling is going to be able to get one support down, and she's really close to this barrage. The Coalescence is there. She gets hacked out of the air, but again, this barrage right on point. We see the Kitsune being used as well. Atlas are sustaining here. They are stabilizing. They're alive, but that's actually going to be Zergling taking down Nacho Toast and taking down Clockwork. Saxo Block, the only one going to be able to get picks here. Carbon is also going to go down. And he just doesn't get what he needs for this Winston Primal.
Yeah, I feel like one of the problems Atlas are having is their, please cap Rusalka, thank you. One of the problems Atlas is having is their comp's kind of undecided on how to deal with the Pharah. Like, it feels like, you know, the backline and Carbon on this Winston want to just go past the Pharah, pressure Shake Hill, pressure Ermagerd. But it feels like, you know, Saxo Block and Clockwork a lot more want to try to pressure out Zergling, get a pick onto Raven maybe. I think they need to pick one, because this comp is capable of doing either. They just kind of feel like they need to decide which one they want to do. And we see Saxo Block pinging the Mercy. Oh.
Well, Common Sense is going to be able to get a kill onto Carbon, and Zergling's going to take out Patamon. And now, because it is Flashpoint, we are in one fight territory for Atlas. This is the decider map. This is the decider map for Rusalka. If Rusalka takes this, they get to take home the entire game.
Yeah, and I'm something we haven't mentioned up until now, but I'm going to now. This would be an upset for Rusalka if they manage to do it. The SRs for Atlas are much higher. They're all Masters players, whereas Rusalka only has just one Masters player. Everyone else is Diamond. They find Raven, though. Start of the comeback, maybe?
Look at that. It's so low. They're going to be against Zergling as well. That's it. That's what you're looking for right here, and that's going to be also the JQ going to be able to get very low here, but both supports are alive. That's going to be Patamon and Nacho going to be getting kills there, and that's actually going to be a fight win for Atlas. Rusalka got EMP'd and couldn't recover from it.
that's how they need to set these up. Not necessarily with an EMP, but they need to get a hack, probably onto either Zergling or Raven, and then just full commit onto them, get the kill. If it's onto Zergling, then you've got to be a little bit careful, deny the res. But, there's a barrage, a Valk, a Pulse Bomb, and there's only a Dry Blade and maybe a Coalescence to answer it. Atlas are far from out of the woods, but they are at least into the woods.
You're gonna see the engage here. Look, engage
Oh,
straight
no.
with barrage. That's gonna be Zergling going down there, but the res is good. And look at Common. Common is here. She's gonna get take down to Lucio. Gonna be very close to this pulse bomb, looking for a target. But there is no one on point. There's only one on point, and they're gonna be able to get taken down very quickly. Patapon goes down as well. It's gonna be the Moira gonna be hunted out here. The pulse bomb gonna be able to get Nacho, and that's gonna be Carbon does get a pick onto Common, but he's the only one left of his team. And the point's gonna be flipped here in one moment. Ermagerd is gonna be able to take down Carbon, and now it's just the people trying to touch. And I think this is in the hands of Rusalka.
Very, very clean play from Rusalka, and like we said, a big upset here from the side of them. A bit unfortunate there at the end for Clockwork. They pull the blade and then Zergling just turns them into particulate atoms with the barrage, but I don't know about you. I have trouble choosing between Common Sense and Zergling here for who we want to make our MVP for this match. What do you think, Nies?
I'm thinking Zergling had an absolutely amazing showing on the first and second map. Kind of played second fiddle on the third map, but that's only because of the type of map they're playing on with New Junk City. But I believe it's 100% Zergling. They made the upset happen. They hit the shots. They were there where they needed to be and absolutely carried this game.
Yeah, like we said earlier, it wasn't even the ringers. Raven and Armagerd, they played well, but it really was Common Sense and Zergling making things happen for Rusalka and just making this such a decisive series. I don't know if we're gonna have an interview that we'll have to see in a moment from Prod, but even if we don't have an interview, please stick around. We are going to be rating GGNA Esports for the grand finals with a BIS division where we have a Mara Morris team in the grand finals. So make sure you stick around, give them lots of love.
I'm going to be rooting for the home team. I believe that's what we have for right now for this game. Again, stick around for that raid onto that stream. And yeah, I'm OP
Yeah.
Needs.
Yeah, I'm Zoe. We do actually have an interview coming up. It'll be a quick break, then an interview, then we're gonna raid GGNA. You might have to wait around a little bit at GGNA. Oh, I didn't realize you had been showing something else. My bad. You may have to wait around a little bit at GGNA, and because the broadcast doesn't start until 10 p.m. EST, so in about an hour from now. But we will do our best to fill some of your time with a banger interview, and we'll see you in a minute. All right, welcome back, everyone. In us with the booth for our interview is the one, the only, the far enthusiast Zergling. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. You guys are kind of the underdogs here, based on at least the SR ranges and based on the expectations that were given. But you guys played an absolute dominant series. How did that feel?
It felt pretty good. Um, I'm sure you were told that unfortunately we're missing a support. Well, two supports actually, and a tank.
Yeah, we did see that Raven and Ermagerd were both ringers for you, but you and Common Sense, who are obviously core members of this roster, you both played a great series.
Thank you.
So there was the. Is there any like So you and Common played very well together. What's that kind of like team chemistry you have there? Because you get someone low, and Common was right there to really make sure that they were going to be up step down.
Yeah, we're really just we work well in tandem. Um, Generally, I identify the biggest threat to me on the enemy team, and I ask Common to mark them for me. Um, and then similarly, I call when I get people low, and then she's good at following up and finishing them.
Well, it worked great for you guys today. When they took you to New Junk City, were you a little worried? Did it ever cross your mind to put down the Pharah on that map?
It did a little bit. We were hoping for Sarasa. Um, Loading in, we were thinking, we'll run Junker Queen, we'll run Trace, we'll run Genji, but being that we were playing with mostly ringers, we felt it better to just stick to what we know and what we're good at.
Fair enough.
All right. Yeah, I mean that it worked out well for you guys. I mean, even during ducts, like you're dominating. You were playing just an absolutely incredible game. Maybe we can convince your manager to let you play far a bit more now, huh?
Yeah, probably.
All right. Well, that's great to hear. And anyone want to shout out mom, dad, teammates, managers.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to shout out Lavender, who's been super supportive of us, even though she was unfortunately unable to come. May for being an awesome manager, and of course my teammates that were able to show, and those that weren't.
Awesome.
All right, that's great to hear. Do you have any further questions, Sneeze?
Nope, don't have any further questions. I think everything has been answered.
All right. Well, thank you for stopping by and talking with us in the booth, circling. Hope you guys have a great night. And for those of you out there on the stream, please do not go anywhere. It will unfortunately be a 45-minute wait until that abyssal opening starts. But take that time, get some food, be ready to back your Marmora's team when that broadcast does start. I'm Zooey. You can find me on Twitter at CastZooey. With me in the booth is OP Knees. You want to tell people where they can find you?
I'm OP News. You can find me on Twitter at FluffyWolfo _. And yeah, I do shoutcasting for a collegiate team as well. So go and check it.
All right.
MC
Uh,
Sports 21.
Also, shout out to our wonderful producer Mayo and to Reach Dat who did the observing for this series. They both did a great job. But that is it for us tonight. We do have one more game for you this week, 8 p.m. EST tomorrow. But for now, hopefully I'll see you in that abyssal tournament broadcast.
Alrighty, I'll see ya.